a lot of great work at Historic Columbia. Some of you may be familiar that she's involved with our Columbia Jewish Heritage Initiative project. This has been a big part of what she's worked on. She played a role in the Man Simon's project as well, and is now spending quite a bit of her time on the Hampton Preston Mansion project. And so she's been doing a lot of the research that has informed some of the new interpretation, particularly on some of the panels that are being developed.
He later was a freeman. He reclaimed his name. He won the 1870. This is so great because we just had the Preakness, but he won the 1870 Belmont Stakes. So even after the Civil War, up through the beginning of Jim Crow, almost all jockeys were African American, and they won a lot. It was like 15 times in the first 30 runnings of the Kentucky Derby were won by African Americans. And as a trainer, he also won the Kentucky Derby in 1877. And then by 1904, black jockeys were pretty much banned from all racetracks, and he died in poverty shortly thereafter. So, life story.
He's 14.
Oh no, he's 14 in this. In this painting. This painting, yes. No, sorry. So this is him right here. And I will say this. What we're going to do is put together kind of a secondary resources for you guys so you can understand. Obviously, with this, I'm not doing the archival research on Brown Dead. Someone else has already done that, so we'll be supplying you guys with kind of the same stories. But what's really interesting about the paintings that Troy did that feature enslaved African Americans, it's not necessarily, you can't really consider them portraiture because it's not like he's really looking at these people and painting them. They're kind of caricatures of what a jockey would look like with certain facial features. So while we can say this is amazing because this is a depiction of enslaved African Americans and the actual work that they were doing, but that we can't say this is Brown Dick. We can't say that. I mean, it's just it's a jockey, and you'll see this throughout his paintings when he does feature African Americans. There's another one that's very similar to this, and the jockey's just flipped on the other side, so with different racing silks. So, and he traveled on a sister ship of this one, the Atlantic. So there were 3 of these created. This is what the interior looks like. This is a very small ship. This is just a couple hundred people who travel on this. It can make the transatlantic crossing in 10 days. So this is what the interior of that looks like. So this is the Grand Saloon in the Atlantic. It looks like the house, or so those are actually, this corner right here, those are actually glass skylights that you can, so skylight comes down into the hole. Each one of these had a 3,500 bottle wine cellar. Why they would need that, I guess they were bringing a lot back. I don't know, but absolutely top of the line furnishings, everything. And so this is what John S. Preston and his family traveled on.